The image behind me today is the United Nations General Assembly Hall in New York City. Stay tuned and find out why this place is so important to our message.
It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
Barack Obama has been using Loretta Lynch's Justice Department to implement the United Nations plan to take over state, county, and local American police departments. Lynch, as you well know, is a prime player in Obama's oligarchy. Well, what does this mean? It means that the land of the free and the home of the brave is creeping closer every day to a totalitarian police state under martial law. Obama has not finished with his goal of fundamentally transforming America, and patriots around our great country had better wake up to this threat right now. Obama's oligarchy and its team of globalists have been quietly taking over local police forces using a United Nations-sponsored stealth tactic. The Muslim Brotherhood terrorist organization, Black Lives Matter, and the Loretta Let 'em Loose Lynch Justice Department are all involved in this effort, and the United Nations Human Rights Council is praising this globalization of American state, county, and local police departments. The stated aim of this effort is to globalize all 18,000 non-federal law enforcement agencies and jurisdictions in the United States. So, your local cops will no longer be under local authority. They'll be under the control of the United Nations so-called Strong Cities program, which includes direct United Nations management of our country's laws, our enforcement agencies, and eventually even our federal law enforcement agencies as well. And remember, the United Nations is now under the effective control of a group called the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. According to CNS News, the 56 Islamic dictatorships, plus the radicalized Palestinians, have banded together to create the largest voting bloc in the UN's history. I call it the Muslim Gang of 57. Did you know the Muslim Gang of 57 outnumbers all other groups of allied nations and can sway any UN resolution that comes up for a vote? Plus, just like the Muslim Brotherhood has done here in the Obama oligarchy, the Muslim Gang of 57 has infiltrated every aspect of United Nations operations. Here's how the Muslim Gang of 57 scam is being carried out in America. After the Muslim Brotherhood stirs up Black Lives Matter, BLM will in turn cause riots and protests in local communities, just like it did in Ferguson, Missouri. I'm sure you remember that. Then, Lynch's police department filed a federal civil lawsuit against the local police force, alleging, among other things, racism or civil rights violations. Totally phony charges, but the reason why they do it is trying to globalize all of our police forces. Then, the local politicians, many of whom, of course, are globalists, agree with that finding of the federal government and don't contest the lawsuit. Then your local law enforcement agency enters into a so-called consent decree with the Justice Department. Then the feds sweep in with new regulations and oversight. Then local law enforcement will have federal handlers sent in to direct everything, and voila, the Muslim Gang of 57 has another law enforcement agency under its control because it's going to be shifted over to the cities program sponsored by the United Nations itself. We surveyed the offices of several members of the House Judiciary Committee to gauge whether Congress is even aware of this issue. Here are the stunning results. Congressman Ted Poe of Texas, his office rudely refused to answer any questions about the Obama's globalization of the police. Congressman Ron DeSantis of Florida, same result. His office refused to answer any questions. I presume that's because they had no answers and didn't know about the program, so I'm going to count them on the no-knowledge side. Then we called the offices of Representative Mimi Walters and Darrell Issa, both Republicans from California. They were completely unaware of the United Nations globalization of local police jurisdictions. And finally, we called the office of Congressman Louis Gohmert of Texas. His staff was unaware of this issue, but was very interested in us following up. So we have a duty to inform these people what's going on in their own country. Thus, the members of the House Judiciary Committee, which has oversight of the Justice Department, appears to be 100% unaware the Obama oligarchy is directing the Muslim Gang of 57, and working together, they've been globalizing local police jurisdictions since at least 2011. This is why it is so important that the folks who watch these videos speak out and get involved. We'll tell you how you can get involved at the end of this video. I hope you do so. Congress doesn't even know that the Obama oligarchy is directing this assault on freedom right under their noses. Here is Stuart Rhodes of the group Oath Keepers talking about the danger of these consent decrees and the globalization of your police department.
Well, look, every oppressive regime throughout world history has federalized or nationalized the police. One of the very first things the Nazis did when they took power in Germany is they nationalized the police and put every local police department under the Gestapo. So, it's the same pattern used throughout history, centralized power. I think people need to have a firm conviction that they must keep their local police departments and their local sheriff departments independent and autonomous.
The situation is much worse than people realize, because Obama has tied this effort in with the United Nations International Strong Cities Program. And this program will eventually ensure that the UN's Muslim Gang of 57 will be patrolling the streets in American cities to ensure that no one is violating the blasphemy laws found in the Sharia. We've been documenting this Strong Cities program for the past year, and now the Obama oligarchy has tied it into its efforts to globalize all 18,000 local police jurisdictions in America. America will be turned into a Muslim state unless we take action to halt this globalization of our police. It doesn't take Muslims to be voted into office. They can come in through the back door. The United Nations is that back door. The Muslims have always worked through back doors to gain control in non-Muslim countries. We can't let it happen here. And here's the part that is really sickening. Congress doesn't know this is happening. We've proven this to ourselves. The Obama oligarchy has already globalized the police forces in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami, Newark, Ferguson, and most recently Baltimore through this tactic. We have lots of knuckleheads in the United States Congress right now, but I still believe that they would never vote to globalize all the police forces in America if they knew about it. This will no longer be a free country if we allow globalized control of America's cops. There is no accountability and no control if your local police are sucked up into the global leviathan. If the Obama oligarchy succeeds, all the police in America will be joined together in another giant public sector labor union as well. And this new super union would likewise fall under the control of the Muslim Gang of 57, since it has operational control of the United Nations. All of our freedoms are at risk if we don't stop this. We have to speak out and tell Congress that this is happening. I believe that many members of Congress will support the effort to stop this if they only knew about it. Well, how do we alert them? That's easy. You go to our action page and start sending personalized letters to Congress. Tell the members of Congress to keep your local police force local and to stop Obama's UN takeover of the police. Do it today. Stay tuned, because we'll tell you on our next segment how to get to our action page. And this is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many, many blessings. But this is an important issue, folks. Act. Act now.
Your help is needed to stop Barack Obama and the UN from globalizing every local police jurisdiction in America. Here's how you can help. If you're watching this from our action page on our website, just look for the form to the right of the video screen and follow the instructions. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to go to our action page, or look for the link in the description. Speak out today.